Well, James, looking at this great surroundings here, summer football, there's nothing like pre-season training. The lads have had a good workout tonight. How are they looking?
Great, yeah, I'm really pleased. It's nice actually to have the whole squad in place. I mean, as you can see here, the facilities are fantastic. It's just a really good setup. We may be part-time, but we can certainly think as professionally as possible, and I think this place makes you feel that.
It's really interesting. One or two of the comments I've heard, particularly from the new players that have arrived, has been how professional the coaching has been. Just the use of the word coaching, I think some of them are really pleasantly surprised at the quality of that, and that's a tribute to yourself and the staff here, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you that's a nice compliment. Like I said, I've always tried to do things professionally. I always like to have some meaning to the training session. Pre-season can sometimes be caught up in fitness work and training, but that can get you an edge over teams. But the thing that really gets you the edge over the course of a season is having your team knowing what they're doing on the pitch. So already we're getting the players to not only work their bodies but also work their minds. So we have been doing a bit of coaching, just laying down some simple principles and philosophies, and they've really responded to that.
We noticed obviously there was a story on the website signing 3 players in one go to complete the squad. Is the squad now complete, or is there still room for manoeuvre?
Well, we've got 19 players, so the problem is if we bring any more in, where do you accommodate them, not only in the first 11, where do you accommodate them on the bench? Now at the moment everybody's fighting fit and healthy, so there was a few concerns over like Lewis being injured last year, Glenn Rule, but everybody's looking fit. At the moment the squad we have, if you put them on a piece of paper along with the bench, looks very, very strong and healthy. Of course we always need to have contingencies for injuries or for perhaps if loss of form or but at the moment I'm happy with what we've got. If there's a little bit of scope to add one more who gives us something different, then great, but I've put a lot of faith in the group I've assembled, and they're very much going to be the platform of what the team's about this year.
There will be an enforced change mid-season. We've just been speaking to Gary Stockport. We know he's going to Australia in the winter, so there will be some manoeuvre during the season, but you knew that when you signed him.
Yeah, no, I mean, all the positives we heard about Gary, I am trying to build a team that will hopefully be successful this year and then grow next year. But I still think that experience is a big part of this team this year as well. So the likes of Kay and Gary have got something to play this year. Come Christmas we'll have to adapt the same way we did last year when Carl left. But we know that's happening, so we can make plans for that. We're hoping that maybe one of the academy guys or one of the guys we're monitoring the non-league and that's on non-contract might come good for us. So you'll have seen 1 or 2 trialists tonight that might feature, if not now, maybe come Christmas.
It's a really interesting set of pre-season fixtures you've got lined up, and it starts right here this Saturday against Cheadle-Heath lads. And I know they're really chomping at the bit, looking forward to it now, lads. It'll be a competitive game.
Yeah, it always has been, and it's a great start. I mean, we're really grateful for the facilities we've got here. Obviously the academy's based here, so I'm very familiar with the setup, and they're great people that run the place here. So it's fitting that we should start. Normally we do a midweek game and squeeze it in, but it's nice for our lads to kick off this season. It'll be a testing game, but it'll also be a great showcase for our fans, because we'll have all the squad available. The first time they get to see them in action in a new kit, hopefully. And like I said, it'd be just a fantastic opening to our playing programme. And then quickly we move on to Barrow and a host of other games, but it'd be nice for lads to get a good workout against the local team, and really looking forward to Saturday. And
what is your thinking in terms of those pre-season fixtures? Do you go with your first choice 11 right from the outset and play that 11 right through? Do you mix and match? Will you learn perhaps as you go through the summer?
I think already, whether it be from last year's experiences and this year's players, there's a healthy 11 in your mind that you're thinking, but I know from experience that you can have a dream team in your mind, and it's not always the team that starts. So we do have to be conscious that everybody's prepared, everybody's included, and everybody feels they've got a part to play. Everybody knows that. I want to have a couple of different shapes. I want to have a team that's flexible. I want players that can come off the bench and open the game up or close the game down. So everybody's got a part to play, and at the moment there's a lot of jostling for those little grey areas in the team, but there's certain players that probably, rightly because of what they've done last season, will be more confident in their starting position, but a healthy amount of competition, but just the right amount that also keeps the squad healthy, that everybody feels they've got a part to play. And I'm sure between now and the end of the season, every single player that we have at the moment will play their key part in this.
You mentioned the interest around the game this Saturday, and just checking, 1,325 season tickets sold as of now, which is more than we sold all last season. I know you're excited for the new season, but flipping out, the fans are as well, aren't they, when you hear those numbers?
Yeah, but it's not just the excitement for it. That's, a lot of that is loyalty as well. I mean, the fans have been fantastic. I was only talking to a couple of people today about the Euros and about the Premiership and how they love this level of football. They love the working class football. And it's, I've really enjoyed the seasons I've had at Northwich. I've learned a lot about myself, the coaching and players at this level. And I think we're going to see as good a football this season as we probably have in the league. And like I said, the fans are excited for the season. I think perhaps one of the key things I was trying to do this year was build a team that was equipped for this level, perhaps, and looked at this level as a challenge and this club as an opportunity. And I'm really excited by the group of players we've got, because they all really want to play at this club and they all know what they're doing at this level. I think there's not a player in our squad, I don't think, perhaps apart from Josh Amos and one other, who haven't had Conference North experience, so that's going to be a key attribute. But the pitch is looking good, the team's looking good, so hopefully we get a very good positive pre-season that'll lead us into a great season.
And the ground's looking good, isn't it? I bumped into John Fitzpatrick today, of all people, and Help the Hatters have done tremendous work in there.
Yeah, well, I popped in there last week when they had the meeting, and we met the players 2 Tuesdays ago for a little get together to talk about pre-season planning, and they all got to meet all the workers, so that was a nice moment. And now I'm really, I've helped lay and paint the odd thing myself. So
I think you painted your own office, haven't you?
Well, I did that, yeah, but I laid the gravel back when I was off work. But no, I mean, they do a great job, and that's one of, as I said to John and everybody at the meeting the other day, I said that's one of the key things, one of the silver linings that has come out of us being in non-league is the inclusion of our fans in helping the club, in being involved in the club, whether it be paying for young players' wages or getting the ground in order or making the whole match day experience much better. The Help the Hatters have been huge, and I'm looking forward to them revamping the Help the Hatters lounge as well. So the club's looking healthier and healthier all the time, and I'm really pleased for the part they play, and I'm really grateful and respectful for the part they played.
And getting back to the football, you and I texted each other the other week about the competitiveness of this division. And Neil Young, I think, described it as the Premiership of non-league, and I know what he means, because there's teams spending big, there's a heck of a lot of local derbies this year, and it really is looking like a competitive league this year, James, isn't it?
Yeah, and we're seeing full-time clubs at this level, so it goes to show you how competitive and how demanding this level's getting. And like I said, the non-league is becoming more and more professional, and I think if they opened up the non-league, the country, and had more teams going up, you'll see a lot more of the less professional clubs in the league move downwards. But from our perspective, it is a tough league. Lots of local derbies, some very interesting fixtures against ex-league clubs. It's going to be great. I mean, I thought last year had some good football and some good teams, but this year's a lot more exciting with the likes of Kidderminster and Halifax and then Darlington and Salford. I've got a lot of respect for Evo Stick North winners.
The teams coming up,
so they've come straight up from the Evo Stick North into the Prem, the same way that Curzon and Fylde and those teams have. So yeah, very, very healthy. And like I said, a lot of work to be done this year in terms of getting the edge on these teams. So I'm looking forward to that, because I'm sure it'll bring out the best of myself and the players.
I know the pitch at Edgley Park looks great. One thing you've got to contend with this year is a 3G pitch this season. I think Tamworth are busy laying their 3G pitch at the moment. I think it's the first time in the National League that would witness that. Have you got a view on whether that's a good thing or a bad thing for football at this level?
It's completely understandable. When I was at Dundalk as manager, we had 35 away games in a row while we laid our pitch. And our first game was the FAI Cup. Dundalk have ended up now as league champions, and a lot of that has been down to the way that they've saved on pitch maintenance. They're able to use the ground for the youth teams, the ladies teams, and raise money. So it's a big, rather than use it once every 2 weeks, they can use it 24/7 for all sorts of activities. So I can understand the sense, the economic sense in laying the pitch. Some of the pitches you play on and some of the games that have been called off this year suggest that it's a more consistent surface. But no, it is strange, and we'd all love to see the game played on grass for its slips and spills, and But no, it's part of the modern game now. I think teams outside the top end, it makes economic sense. So that's something that we've got to contend with. But our lads train on 3G pitches anyway, so they're probably more used to that probably that time of the season. But no, it's a move in the right direction probably for Tamworth. So we accept that. As long as it's not like the old pitches at Preston and Oldham that was like a hockey pitch and they went around knocking you down to get the grass burns on you. But no, times have changed now. The quality of these 4G pitches is tremendous now, and like I said, it's the future.
I've just got to ask you finally, while we've got you, James, about the Euros. You mentioned it earlier, and about England's demise in the tournament this time. Have you got a view on why England did so badly this time?
Well, when you look at the Germans, I think one of the things that stood out to me for Germany is that Germany have gone around the world studying football, studying different tactics, what teams do. And for the Germans to be able to seamlessly move from one shape to another to contend with the Italians' strength just shows that, tactically they're ahead of the game, as well as having the good players. It's disappointing to see, England and Ireland go out in such circumstances, but disappointing for England to lose to Iceland. Great credit to Iceland because they played well within their own shape. But no, it's disappointing for England because I think on the back of the World Cup as well, it just isn't really showcasing really the quality that's within England and within the Premier League. But I think that we need to be, as a nation and as a leagues, we need to be tactically far superior than we are at the moment. And if we can make great strides on that, I think we can contend with the players we have.
Really appreciate your time. Thanks.
No problem. Welcome.